Hi Divya.
Hi, Ka.
Now we are on live. You can call me Vandana. Okay.
Still, yeah.
So that I so we just wait for a few minutes
Yes.
until then let people log in. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Then what else, Divya?
Everything is good.
Everything is good.
COVID
Okay.
is
Huh?
post-COVID. Things are good and back.
I know. Okay, so let's start. I start this event with the wish of happy Navaratri, Divya. Today
Thank
being the auspicious day, and
Yes.
it's a day for women, and then there's a lot of blessings in and around, and people celebrate all these 9 days, and then it's a great start in spite of
Yeah.
COVID. Something good, auspicious, and COVID, as you rightly said, has given both good and bad things for us. So with this, I start. I welcome Divya. Thank you so much for accepting. I know, and it's a great pleasure to have you here in VCO. As you've been knowing that VCOP has been doing series of this Let's Aware program, and my only motto or VCOP's only motto is just to create awareness among people with regard to mental health, because mental health is the central theme in everything. There is nothing without health is not complete without mental health. So
True,
with
I agree.
that intention, we are starting this, and great to have you. Over to you, Divya. You can talk about little bit about Sino Clinic and your travel about in this field, and and then we'll go into the actual sessions.
Sure,
Over to
sure.
you, Divya.
Thank you. Thanks for the
Yeah.
introduction. Like you rightly said, mental health is like really important. See, on a daily basis, when we also speak to our clients, end of the day, it comes back to their mental strength. So no matter how good diet program that we give, they still client has to be motivated in terms of mentally. They'll have to be focused. They have to be very strong. If they don't fix it in their mind, they will never do it. So a lot of
True.
cases we actually end up not seeing results because the client is mentally not ready to do it. So mental strength that way has helped our clients also, because when it comes to service industry, end of the day the choice is completely given to the client. Only if they do it, they see the results. Otherwise it doesn't happen at all. And especially when it comes to weight loss, it's all about what they think. What they
True.
think is
True.
what they do. So like we also work with a lot of psychologists like you and few others. See, all of us actually help our clients to think positive. See, weight loss,
Hmm.
it just doesn't happen with food and exercise. It's also about the way they think. So that's where we also take your help. So it definitely helps a lot for us also. So, I've been practicing for the last 10 years, and I've been doing like one on one consultation. It's completely customized to every single individual. It's like we spend like about an hour and a half minimum with a client, and we try and understand their cultural habit, their diet history, medical history, family history, their workout schedule, work schedule. We get into the details, and then we make the diet chart. So we just don't suggest them a diet chart to follow based on their goals. So we work, understand them completely. We understand their blood chemistry, body composition, and then we address their issues. So far, like, this is what we do with our clients. So we always believe nutritionists, we
So
always, yes.
So Divya, you work with all kind of age groups, right? Right from children, adolescent to teenage, and then
Yes,
up to
yes.
old age, or you work only with the clinical population?
So not just clinical, we work with like athletes, non-athletes, general population, pediatric age group, geriatrics, like anyone who walks into our clinic with regards to health. we take care of their nutrition. See, our youngest client is 3 years old and our oldest is 93. So
Wow, that's really nice to hear.
so yeah.
Hmm.
So anyone who wants to take care of, like, who are worried about what they eat and how they should be eating, we definitely help them with eating right.
Okay. Now, Divya, I have this basic doubt. What is the difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian?
Okay.
Is there any subtle difference? If you can
Uh,
make us understand, though
yeah.
people have a lot of confusions on this.
A lot of people think both nutritionists and dietitians are the same. See, there's something called like how doctors have exams, or like how you all have your own specialization. Clinical psychologist is different from a regular psychologist. So we
Okay.
also have something called registered dietitian, wherein we have to write an exam that's been conducted by government, and then they have to pass. That is when they've given that certificate that they are the registered dietitians. So dietitians are someone who is basically underwent a training program in a clinical setup, and then they're specialized in clinical conditions. Okay,
Okay.
so and nutritionist, they work with people from varied industries like sports, weight loss, fitness, and general, basically holistic approach towards nutrition. So
Okay.
that's what the major difference is between these two. But
Okay.
most of them they
Now,
get confused.
yeah, I know because see, even I wasn't aware of it, but when I was browsing through the net, I generally do a lot of see, as I told, mental health is there in every other field, so that's why we always tend to associate with various other experts and then want to know how mental health is linked to that and how their professional field, how mental health affects and all that. So in that case, as I was browsing, I came across this like what is there is a difference between a nutritionist and dietitian. So that's when I put across this question. Divya, as you know, see, this we are doing it for a lay public. It is not like
Yes,
a professional this thing. So obviously, the basic doubts everybody has is what is the quick way of losing weight? Is there
yes.
any quick or instant way of losing weight?
Definitely no. See, like every single person wants to see results immediately. If you want to see permanent results, you got to give that time. See, you've had enough time to gain that weight, so you need to give at least half of the time that you've taken to gain weight. There is no quick fix, but a lot
Hmm.
of methods where people do, but all that is not permanent. All that is temporary, but all of these you will regain back. So never go for shortcuts.
Okay, so that's what quick fix again. You will get the quick fix back. That's what you are trying to say. And
That's
in a way, I think it is not good for health too in the long run,
true.
right? What
True.
we generally call this kind of a crash diets and all that.
True.
So see, let me start with the basic question with regard to having early morning detox or early morning these liquids. The first basic things everybody suggests is having a warm water and lemon. How effective is it, and is it advisable to all age group?
See, it's completely customized to every individual. Not every individual can have lime water, okay? And it's not gonna work for every individual. And like you said, age group definitely matters, and the person's symptoms and the condition or their goal is also very important when they choose the early morning wake up drink. And with regards to detox, see, this is something which has become very fancy today. Like a lot of
True,
people,
true.
they just want to catch up with the trend. Right now it's like detox. You either purchase it from any shops or any company, or you do it by yourself. See, detox is nothing but you're cleansing your system early in the morning. Even water, plain water, still helps in detoxification. So now that you'll have to have something to detoxify your body. And why we say early in the morning is because first thing in the morning it flushes out your toxins. It cleanses your
Hmm.
system. That's exactly why you always have your detox drink first thing in the morning, because your
Okay,
body is
now
feeling.
now that you have said even water is fine, so is there that should we be taking a warm water or even a normal room temperature water is fine in terms of, if we don't go for lime and honey or any kind of detox on a daily basis, what would you suggest? Is it a plain water or a warm water?
Even plain water is good enough. See, the body doesn't know whether it is warm or cold. Your body works on both the temperatures to bring it down to the normal temperature. That's how your body burns a lot of calories. So room temperature water will do.
Okay, okay, good enough. Um, is there, according to you, the first thing that we achieve is weight loss or inch loss with diets?
Okay, the first initial 3-4 kilos that you actually lose is water. It's
Oh, okay.
That's not the fat loss. People always think, they always look at the fat loss as a weight loss.
Uh, I think we've lost Divya due to connection issues.
Now I think I'm
Yeah,
back.
now, yes, 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 you are back.
Okay, so what people think, see, people always give importance for the numbers on the way on the scale. So the first few kilos that you lose is just water, which will always bounce back. So that's not the actual weight loss. And when you follow a particular routine for weight loss or diet, basically you lose in inches. That after that is when your weight loss happens.
Okay.
Initially it's in slow.
Is there a time period that you can give, like they have to wait between this time or so many days, or is there any particular, so that people will know? And I'm sure it depends upon the body metabolism also, but
Yes.
is there a time period for it?
See, to see good amount of fat loss, you need to train your body for minimum 45 days to see good results in terms of visible
Okay.
changes that can be noticed by others. For you to see inch
Mm-hmm.
loss, yes, less than a week, like in a week, or two, you will definitely, you as a person will be able to feel the difference in terms of inch loss and few numbers on scale. But for someone to, visibly see the changes and tell you, it takes like about 1.5 months minimum, because your body needs the
Okay.
time to understand and then give results.
Okay. Divya, now I would want you to suggest some brain boosting foods, because this is mental health and brain boosting foods for all age group, right from childhood to all age group, across all age group. What is the common thing that you would suggest that will enhance their brain?
Focus, memory. Okay, like I would just put it in a simpler way. Walnuts. See, walnuts they look
Okay.
like brain, right? So walnuts has basically this is the component that is that actually helps with your memory, your focus, and everything, which is your omega 3 fatty acid. Omega 3 has multiple other functions too, apart from mental health. So omega 3 is present in, if you see non-vegetarian foods, it is present in fish, vegetarian walnut and flaxseed. They're the two sources of omega 3, and chia seeds also. See, you can start including these foods on a regular basis. See, all of us need omega 3 on a daily basis, which we don't do. Few of them they do supplements, few of them
Mm-hmm.
they actually go with foods. So it completely depends on the person, as what they want to choose. So it's omega 3 is completely directed towards your mental health, because it will calm your brain down. And what happens is, like, when you have omega 3 before you sleep, basically walnuts before you sleep, it actually induces your feel good hormone in the body. So
Mm-hmm.
before you go
Uh,
to bed, it
I,
calms your.
I, I was about to ask you this question of what is the appropriate time to have, because that creates a lot of confusion. Now you said like in the night time, is it good? Because
It's
people
basic.
they do say that in the night time we should take less intake and things like that. So please help us to overcome this confusion.
So with walnuts, what you do is you have it like about 15 minutes before you hit the bed. So that's the time your body requires for it to act upon. So you have, and
Mm-hmm.
the common mistakes that people do is, most of us buy I mean, we buy the broken ones, walnuts from
Okay.
supermarket.
Okay.
So never do that.
Okay.
See, because it does have oil, that's why it is called omega-3 fatty acid. It's basically a fat. See, you're not
Hmm.
supposed to like, once it is broken, the maximum shelf life is like about a week. Even if you put
Oh,
it
I
in a
didn't
airtight
know.
airtight container, even if you, that's when this actually works on your sleep and calming your brains down. Otherwise it is like, you just
Okay.
eat and it just comes out of the system, so it doesn't serve the
So we
purpose.
are just eating a fiber and then it just comes out of the system. Divya,
Exactly.
we didn't know all this, yeah. And I think every supermarket and wherever you go, I
It's
rarely find
broken.
the one with the nuts. Yeah, it's all broken. So I think that's a very good point which you raised, and I think people should get in and then understand that they should buy the whole one rather than the broken one. Right?
Additionally, what it does is, see, basically, even for you and I, if we have difficulties in sleeping, you can have, because it has something called serotonin, which will improve your melatonin, so you get to sleep well. It's
Okay.
walnuts act as a natural sleeping pill.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's nice.
again, you
So,
have to
so,
get.
so you mean to say we can have it in the night? So, is there any time period you would suggest? Because I know we generally suggest that taking a warm glass of milk in the night
Mhm.
also induces sleep.
Yes.
So, should we take it along with that, or is there any time period? Because see, there's a confusion, Divya, which they say is that before you sleep, 2 hours prior to that, you should
You
not
shouldn't
eat
eat.
anything and things like that. So, in that
See,
case, what would you suggest?
okay. See, with such case, you shouldn't eat like a major meal before you go to bed. So over
Mm-hmm.
here we are only having like one whole walnut, which is like literally nothing, which is like very small, tiny piece,
Small
two
ones.
piece. So
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't have an impact on your digestive system. So it's okay to have those small, few nuts. And say, I would recommend you to have like minimum 10 to 15 minutes before you go to bed. So
Okay.
then
So
works.
can we consume it along with the milk, or is it okay if we take it just plain?
You can have it plain, or if someone has an habit of having milk, they can have it along with the milk also.
Okay.
Plain
Now,
walnut.
Divya, another important question is, see, all the mothers would say, my child doesn't eat this. So, what would you substitute for children? Because I'm sure walnut is not that tasty and things like
It
that. See,
isn't.
we as an adult, we understand. So, what would you suggest for children?
Such kids, what I generally, because we have a lot of athletes who are fussy eaters, because most of them are like less than 12 years. See, there are two ways of looking at it. One is make it like a proper milkshake. Like, you can make it as a powder and add it to the milk. So it's not going to definitely
Okay.
make a difference. Otherwise, what we can, most of the children, they love chocolates. Again, I'm not
Hmm.
trying to eat chocolate over here. What we can do is, you can dip the walnut in dark chocolate. Again, dark chocolate or like cocoa powder induces good sleep. So it's
Okay.
it's again another good way of introducing walnuts to their routine.
So I
Or
think we need to be more creative in terms of
the
children,
parents
right?
have to be, exactly, you need to understand the combinations. Or walnuts with prunes will taste really nice. Raisins, yes, it is really good. So you just have to try in combinations,
Okay. Is
because
there
what
anything, Divya, you said you told about walnuts and chia seeds. So is there any other foods which really,
flax
boost
seeds.
the brain? Flax seeds.
See,
Okay.
otherwise, see, purely omega-3 helps. Otherwise, your usual vitamins and minerals, which is basically your fruits and veggies, which most of us eat during the day itself. So, specifically with regards to your brain, it's only omega-3.
Okay. Okay.
It's not about the foods, it's
Okay.
about omega-3.
Okay. Now, do you want to tell any specific food for exam goers or who prepares late in the night? And is there any kind of food? Because I know now a lot of them are appearing for these kind of competitive exams and all that. So for them, is there anything specific?
See, one main thing that I've noticed with these kind of people is like when they're into, preparing for something, they forget to drink water.
Wow.
See,
Oh,
what
yeah.
happens is when you don't drink enough water, your concentration power and your focus comes down completely. Food is also secondary, but then your water plays a very important role. Your focus just drops down, like at least by
Mm-hmm.
50%. See, that's exactly why, like, all of us can check this once. See, in general, our brain has a capacity of, good focus for about 20 minutes only, post which all of
Mm-hmm.
us are, no matter how good the teacher or how good the speaker is, we still, somewhere the attention is lost. It's not about the attention or the boring lecture. It's about, your brain needs little glucose, and your brain
Okay.
also needs little water. So these two
Mm-hmm.
important things. And people also forget to eat. They either overeat or they undereat. They do not
Mm-hmm.
eat right when they're actually preparing for exams. They either forget completely or they overeat a lot of junk foods or unwanted foods that your body needs at that point of the time. So you need to include a lot of foods which will make you feel fresh. Avoid deep fried foods because it makes you feel sloppy. Start
Mm-hmm.
eating more fresh, like even for example veggies. I would say go with raw veggies. When you have exams, you're gonna feel lighter. You're not, because when you feel lighter, you're not gonna feel sleepy. So you are going to be refreshed, so you can spend a lot of time again, in studying preparation, and so that you don't end up sleepy. You're fresh.
Okay.
You're fresh, so you need to include a lot of raw veggies and fruits which will make you feel fresh, and water definitely. So you need to keep sipping it through the day and not just drink it one single shot. See, most of them, they just
Okay.
finish like half bottle or one bottle at one shot. That's not the way you drink water. You need to sip through the day, which is like, say, every half an hour, like about a sip. That will still
Mm.
work. See,
Okay.
caffeine, yes, generally it does, gives you the mental alertness, but then that can't be the solution. Then you are again,
Mm.
you're getting addicted to caffeine. You're like alert, you're up mentally. That's why you see people have coffee
Mm-hmm.
or tea when they're up late night,
Okay.
because
It's
it
okay
does
to
give that.
have 1 or 2 cups, Divya. Is it okay to have
One
one
or
or
two
two
cups
cups?
is absolutely fine in a day.
Okay.
So that's
Okay,
absolutely.
now, Divya, COVID, and there's a lot of this thing about immunity foods, immunity boosters, and all that. What is your opinion on that, or what would you suggest? Simply, see, I always like something which is homemade. Not every people become can spend money on these kind of special foods and all that. What is that homemade stuffs that we can use for
See, like,
boosting? And there's one question which also say, a friend of mine who has OCD drinks kabasura kudineer or other kashayam daily. Is it healthy?
see, too much is also bad. You need to have everything in limitation. So you can't be, just because it is good, you can't be doing it every single day. There are a lot of side effects also for good stuffs, right? So you need to have it in moderation, because kabasura kudini, it does increases your body heat. You become acidic.
Hmm.
Acidic
Hmm.
again, you attract a lot of things towards you. So you can't do too many things at one shot. With regards to boosting immunity, I would say, you need to fix the basics right. Basically, your sleep cycle, your wake up cycle, your water, even these kind of small things work will help your immunity to go up. And since like more like as we are Indians, we use a lot of Indian herbs and spices, condiments, which actually boost immunity. It's just that we don't consciously make an effort to include them in our regular routine. So, for
Mm-hmm.
example, until COVID, at least 80% of the people, they were not having turmeric water.
Ah, yeah.
See, we all say that we it's part of our cooking. We do add turmeric powder to every single dish that we make. But how much of the turmeric powder actually gets inside the body?
Hmm.
Going back to the roots, the turmeric powder that we get in the supermarket itself, you don't know when it was processed. You don't even know whether the curcumin that is present in turmeric is there or no. So these kind of basic things you need to get it fixed. Just go back to basics, what your grandparents did, or like your parents did. So that's why today people have started drinking turmeric water. Like, you either grate the
Mhm.
turmeric, or like use the turmeric powder, the fresh turmeric powder and water, and just drink. Just plain turmeric water is not going to help you. Add a pinch of pepper along with the turmeric powder so that the curcumin gets absorbed in the body. So with regards to food, you always need to understand the combinations.
True, true. I think that's what we require some knowledge in terms. See, we know, okay, turmeric water. Now that you have said that we need to add pepper for it to get absorbed. So I think these are the mistakes that people are doing, and there's a lot of confusion about the timings. When should we take? How should we take? Those this thing is also creating a problem. See, I know certain people tell that you should take it early in the morning. Certain people say just before you sleep you should take it. So what is the right time?
See, turmeric is you can do like before you go to bed, because you have the whole night where your body, that's exactly when your body starts healing. Your recovery and
Uh-huh.
rest happens. So you can have it bedtime before you go to
Okay,
bed.
so and it can be given to all age group, right? And
Definitely.
Divya, again, is it okay to take it on a daily basis?
See, turmeric, a very small pinch on a daily basis is totally fine. It's not too much,
Okay.
again, it's going to affect you.
No, no, that's what. Because see, turmeric on a daily basis with just a pinch of it is fine. But what about this kabasara or kashayams and all that? How often should we take? What I mean, how often is like within how many days break we should take?
See, this is what I've been doing. Like, I do once a week.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Or maximum that you can do is thrice a week. Like, 2 days, the third day you can consume, because too much of it is definitely not advisable, because it does causes a lot of eat. See, I've seen a lot of people having mouth ulcers because of that. Lot
I
of
know.
heat because of that. So, you need to, and you can't have it too concentrated. It has to be in a
Hmm.
diet form, and that has to be consumed on an empty stomach.
Uh-huh. See, that's
So,
what these are the things. On an empty stomach, it has to be taken and all that. There's
mhm.
somebody who's asking how to use lemon for immunity and what time of the day.
I actually wanted to speak about lime. See,
Mm-hmm.
lime is an amazing food, not just for improving your immunity, it also helps in fat loss, your skin, and everything. See, lime is a good source of vitamin C. You have a lot of other foods also, which is good source of vitamin C, like your amlas, your cabbage, your capsicum. There are so many other foods which actually, and your sweet lime, oranges, all of it is also vitamin C. Make sure that you have one of these on a daily basis. When you're consuming
Okay.
lime, a lot of us have only juice, but then try and have it as lime water with little salt, not like
Mm-hmm.
as a proper juice again with a lot of sugar. So otherwise, lime in any other form, you can't have it in any other form. It's
And
yeah.
maybe
So it
you have to
goes
give
as
us some tips like what in another form we can take it. I'm sure everybody uses lime in
you
the
can
form of juice, but
squeeze
I'm sure some of them even used to sprinkle lime on their rasam
you
or,
can squeeze your
yeah,
lime on top of your vegetables, cooked vegetables, or
salads.
salads, or just on top of the food. Even in
Mm-hmm.
dal, you can add squeeze. So
Mm-hmm.
that you can do.
Okay. Divya, see, now that you said like about lime and sweet lime and oranges, which is locally available, I have these things where there's very rich kind of a food or outside foods and all that. So, what is your say on that? Because now that everybody goes to supermarket or everybody goes to this paramudir and all that, so in the front you have this kiwi, you have this. So,
Uh,
what is your opinion on that?
there are two ways of looking at it. If you have all the money, please go buy. There's nothing wrong. You
Okay,
can. But these are foods which, I mean, these are the nutrients which is locally available. When you have access to
available.
local foods, you can always use it.
Mhm.
Doesn't
No,
mean
but
you
my
have to
question
buy.
is it good? Is it good? See, one thing,
It
yes,
is
obviously, yeah. Yeah, is
It
it
is
good? Yeah.
expensive. See, one disadvantage over here is not everyone can afford.
True,
Okay,
true,
and
true,
it is
true.
not like mandatory that you should do only kiwis or strawberries for vitamin C. You have
Mm-hmm.
other good sources of vitamin C. So if if the accessibility and the availability is good, please pick it up. It is good if
Okay.
you really
No,
don't
my
mind.
point is because they
And
say that,
not a
it
seasonal fruit, and it is a seasonal fruit. You don't get it throughout the year also. So stick on to
true.
something which is available locally.
Mm-hmm.
See, one
Okay.
is
The
transportation. The transport it takes. By the time it reaches you, it's gone already.
I know that's the point I wanted to insist, because I think these are the foods that gets transported, and I'm sure there's a lot of preservatives, and even here in local foods there are a lot of preservatives are there. See, it's been gone the days where I have never had an apple without peeling the skin. So my doubt on that. See, we peel the skin and then we throw it. Do we get the nutrients really? If we
Uh,
take it, it is harmful. Now, if we throw it, is are we getting the real nutrients?
no, no, not every single food that we eat today contains the actual nutrient that it is supposed to. Like you rightly said, apple, they say it's waxed completely, so you'll have to peel and have. So the whole point of having apple is lost already.
Hmm.
It
So apple a day keeps the doctor away is the other way around now,
that
I
doesn't
think.
doesn't. So inside it's just the carbohydrates that you're going to get. You might as well have a cup of rice. You will still get carbohydrates. So
Okay. So
that's
you
the
mean to
point.
say when I eat an apple, it's only the carb which I'm getting, not the
See,
nutrient? No, you're not audible.
now can you hear me now?
Yeah.
But
Yes,
I said
yes, yes.
at least 50% of the fiber that is present in the apple is already gone. You've peeled it off. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Okay.
that's there.
Um, right. Now, is there anything which you suggest ideal for dinner? See, there's a lot of confusions about the fancy diets, and shouldn't we take this amount of rice, or we should not take this, or what is your say on that?
Okay,
And what
see,
is again the correct time? Though I know 8 o'clock, but Divya, see, let's be practical for people
see, it
like
doesn't
us who
work.
are working. Yeah, people who are working and all that. How do
See,
how do they plan and how do they go about?
make sure that there is a minimum of 1.5 hours between your bedtime and the dinner that you consume. And also, even if you're going to have rice, make sure that there are a good amount of vegetables so that it is balanced. And compared to all the three meals, your dinner has to be light. You can't go
Hmm.
heavy with your dinner, but at least 60% of the population we do that. Early in the
Okay.
morning we don't have time to spend and have good amount of food. Lunch, because we all rush and pack half stuff, so we don't again eat much. See, dinner is one thing, you are relaxed, you're not rushing for
Mm-hmm.
something. So you're at home, so you come back home and then have dinner, so you have a lot of time to eat. So what you do is you end up compensating for the first two meals. You tend to eat more. So that's totally wrong. While you plan for dinner, always make sure that your quantity is lesser than the other two meals that you've already consumed. And make sure it is balanced. Make sure that it has some amount of carbohydrate, protein, and little fat and fiber also.
Okay.
It doesn't matter whether it is idlis or rotis or salads or chicken or paneer. So it has to be balanced. That's the whole point.
Okay, one important question, Divya, which
Uh-huh.
I think which is linked to mental health again. What is
Mhm.
your say on eating time, emotional eating, mindful eating, and all that?
See,
How much time should we spend in terms of eating? If we take two idlis or four idlis or whatever it is, how much time people should allot?
this is actually a very important thing in today's life. Most of us we rush and we eat. We don't even realize what we are eating. We are either watching TV or we are so preoccupied that we have to go back and switch on the mobile. We have something to either reply. It can be work also. So we are actually not giving enough time. See, understand, focus when you're eating. So you need to understand what is going inside your body, so otherwise it doesn't work. See, it's about mind and muscle connection. You need to connect with what you're eating. So give that time, try to chew and eat. Do not, that's exactly why people, when they eat their favorite foods, it can be biryani also, homemade, or it can even be paneer, for that matter, paneer butter masala, or fried rice, or like a pizza or a burger. We tend to eat faster
Mm-hmm.
and end up eating a lot of quantity also. So your
You know, I
what
think
it
I think the reason I would chip in an answer. I think when we push in food from the stomach to the brain, the signal has to be received, and it is the hypothalamus is the area which conveys the satiety. This thing that
exactly
boss, it is enough. You stop. So,
stop.
and another point we like to add on is, see, when we don't focus and eat, I think we are not giving respect to the food also, and we are not even enjoying the taste, and we are not being in the present moment. So that is important. Divya,
Totally.
there's one person called Lakshmi. She is asking, is there any specific food for a child who is going through epilepsy? Okay, and I think she has read somewhere where it says that salmon fish is good. So that the child is like 6 year, and do you suggest any specific things for
See,
them?
coming back to the same topic that I spoke about is omega 3. Omega 3 definitely helps a lot in reducing your internal inflammation. See, for
Mm-hmm.
epilepsy, yes, omega 3 helps a lot in recovery. So it's not just salmon, it's
Okay.
about any fish that you take has some amount of omega 3. For this child, you can start focusing on pick up the nutrient which is omega 3, and then start picking up the food sources like fish, walnuts, flax seeds. You can actually give them a good nuts and dry fruit laddu where the child will also enjoy, because nuts is basically good fat. Nut seeds like your sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds. See, all these a child may not like it, but then when you give it in a
Yeah,
laddu form,
true, true.
definitely the
That's
child
right.
will like. The child will enjoy
Mm.
eating a dessert over a plain
Maybe,
seed. So
maybe as you said, maybe a dip of chocolate in that. A dark chocolate
exactly,
is good. So that way it is.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
See, there's another question where they've asked, is there any particular food for rheumatoid arthritis? Is there any particular?
See, arthritis, again, there is a lot of internal inflammation that's actually happening inside. One major thing that actually helps reduce your pain is one is your omega 3. Turmeric, which is basically curcumin, helps a lot in relieving your symptoms. And antioxidant rich foods, this is again a general thing, which is basically dark colored vegetables and fruits. So your
Okay.
bone, your joint health, fluid actually plays a very important role in joint health. So these are foods which will
Mm-hmm.
reduce your symptoms. And again, there is not one single food which will help in RA basically. So it's the group of foods which will reduce the symptoms. Once your symptoms comes down, your pain is better.
Mm-hmm.
Protein is extremely important for such people, where most of
Okay.
us don't meet our protein requirements.
True. And I'm sure, is it very, I think it's very difficult for vegetarians to include protein in every diet. And then,
Every
especially
meal.
I am being a vegetarian, and I know when it comes to weight loss, they say that you need to have a lot of vegetarian, protein-rich foods. So, what are the some vegetarian protein-rich foods which is easily available, Divya, again,
See,
which we can prepare it at home?
the easiest thing is, curd is one of the best source of protein. A lot of people say
Mm-hmm.
milk and products. See, milk again, there are few people who are, intolerant to milk. And why I said curd is better option, because curd, apart from protein, it also has got good amount of probiotics, basically good
Mm.
bacteria, which will improve your gut health. Most of us
Mm.
are suffering from bad gut today. So that way, curd minimum twice or thrice a day, either as a buttermilk or a cup of curd or a raita, will definitely help to improve your gut health and also meet your protein requirements by little and start including nuts in your diet. See, multigrain porridge, or like, having like multigrain dosas for, see, these are extra protein that you're trying to include apart from the regular stuffs. See, because dal is the major staple food for a vegetarian.
Mm-hmm.
Can either
True.
be a sambar or a dal. See, that way you don't even consider that as a major protein source, because it has equivalent amount of carbs in it.
Carbs in it.
So you can't claim that, dals are like sprouts are definitely a good choice. Your chickpea, your chana dal, your black chana, all these are like a good source of protein. So
Okay, Divya, is there any substitute for sweetness? Nowadays, they say no jaggery or panavellam or this nati chakare. And do you suggest any substitute for sweeteners apart from sugar?
see,
And
Steve.
again,
Uh,
I have a confusion. Do
mhm.
people do say that there is not much of a difference whether it is jaggery or sugar? I think that very minimal difference is there. Is that true also?
See, one thing is, with the plain sugar, it is completely refined and you do not get anything out of it. When you have like a palm sugar or jaggery, all of these contain some amount of iron in it, minerals.
Mm-hmm.
So, you at least get the micronutrients out of it. Wherein with white sugar, you don't get anything. So that's the whole point. So, jaggery or palm sugar is a better option over white sugar.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh, Divya, what is your say on intermittent fasting?
See, it's completely, a person's choice. If you ask me, I wouldn't personally suggest, but when someone is, they are willing to do it, I would guide them in a right way. See, all these are very tricky unless until you do it in a right way. And if you do not do the proper transition, like from an IF to the normal routine, then you will bounce back. After a
Yeah.
point, you actually hit a plateau. You do not.
Mm-hmm.
See, initially you start losing weight, and a lot of people also say that they've stopped medications for diabetes or cholesterol, or they've even yeah, same statins, basically cholesterol and all of that. So I wouldn't completely agree, because being an Indian, your body needs, some amount of carbs to function.
Yeah,
See, so
because and I
it is
think
totally individual
there's lot
choice.
there is, there is lot of confusion in terms of diabetes. I think that is very risky because diabetes and mood to a greater extent. Because I'm sure if there's low sugar, that influences the mood, and if it is
A
high
lot.
sugar again, that influences the mood. So I think it is rightly said, unless until we get the correct information and guidance from a professionally qualified person, I think we shouldn't be jumping into all these things, especially for people who have these kind of clinical diagnoses. Because I see a lot of promos which focuses on intermittent fasting is good for diabetes and other conditions and all that.
True, true.
So that is again a very important thing. So PMS related foods, because there is a lot of link between PMS and mood symptoms. So does food can do some role on that in reducing these kind of mood swings around that time?
Actually, cocoa gives a, basically it's about calming your mind down. That's that, to a greater extent that you cut your cravings off. You generally start craving for sugar during your PMS, basically. So sugar, yes, it definitely gives it comfort. Comfort foods is what you actually crave for. I always say go for dark chocolates or have milk with cocoa powder. You can have it as cold
Uh-huh.
milk. So you feel that you're having a
Okay.
milkshake that actually brings your craving down. Or you can have kadla mithai that has sugar and it is a
Uh-huh.
good snacking option too.
Okay, now that you're focused on kadla mithai and all this yellow mithai and all that, does it puts on weight? And see, sometimes after finishing my clients in the late evenings, I do take my dinner around 7 or 8 at the max. Okay, but then once I finish some time and I have this hunger pranks. So can I just munch on this kadla mithai in the night or just before sleep? Because just to overcome that hunger pranks.
See, the problem over here is these are things which we can never stop with one or two. If you have good control over the portion size, you can go ahead. Otherwise, if you think you can't, have control over yourself with these kind of foods, then you need to
Avoid.
really.
So you mean to say one is good, one is
Once
good, or two is good?
small
One
one is
small.
good enough. See, that's what,
Okay.
when you eat these kind of foods, eat slow, chew completely. Do not just, have it like really chew fast. So when you chew slower,
Hmm.
you get the taste, and you also mentally, you're satisfied. You're like, oh yeah, I got the
Yeah.
taste of it.
Yeah, now that you brought this aspect of chewing slowly, and then we also discussed about, see, I have been doing a lot of research where this frontal lobe involvement in terms of, saying no to certain food. There is this inhibitory component which involves. So I'm also coming up with a lot of modules where we train, as because in the beginning of the session you said unless until they have that thought of,
You,
uh, to to do something or to begin or to be consistent with that, because I'm sure how much ever diet charts you give or how much ever education we do give, but it's ultimately that impulsivity factor, that resistance factor. When they see a tempting kind of a food, they're unable to
sure,
say no to it, or as you rightly said, they can't stop with one or two. So
true.
in that case, I think what you said is eating slowly and being mindful. And I personally feel that don't say no to anything. Maybe you can add on a little moderate amount to your diet, and then that gives you a feeling of, I have taken and I've not completely avoided it. Yeah. And
So
see, there is a myth about people are asking, can I have curd regularly as I'm having acidity problem? And there's another question related to curd which says that there is an assumption which say people curd will increase the weight. Is that true? Two, one is it is related to acidity. Second, in terms of weight gain.
actually, it helps your acidity. See, curd is
Mhm.
basically a probiotic food. See, when your acid levels are on a higher side, it kills your good bacteria. Your acid kills good bacteria. So you need good bacteria now. So curd is a very good source of natural probiotic. So curd definitely helps with your acidity. If it doesn't suit you, milk, yes, I agree. It causes a lot of gas and acidity. So what happens is, like, when you have it as curd, uh, there is an enzyme called lactose which is present in milk. The lactose becomes lactase when you have it in the curd. So curd is a good option. If you feel acidic with curd, then buttermilk is definitely a good option.
Uh,
So
Divya, now that you said curd, but I'm a very fond of this, what we call that rice, which they soak in the night and then have it in the morning. I'm not able to recollect that.
probiotic,
Yeah, true. So I think that's a good source of excellent probiotic, this thing. And as you mentioned, there is always a relationship between a gut and a brain, because food
exactly.
today to a greater extent influences your brain and the brain regulating hormones, which has a greater connection to your mood and mood related activities and behaviors. Right. Now, there's another question which the people have asked: does food play a huge role in migraine headache?
Definitely. See, even I have migraines.
Mhm.
Food. See, when you get that, migraine attacks, you won't feel like actually eating.
True.
You will just want to sleep. You will want to have pop in a pill and just go off to bed. But then there's a huge difference when you have some kind of food. A little, like, the portion size can be little when you eat, and then rest. Your headache comes down. So yes, migraine, headaches, food definitely has a very good relationship. You need to eat. So a lot of
Is is there any specific food you would suggest at that time?
see, during your migraine pains, just stop have or stop, or, like, I would say, avoid completely fried foods
Mm-hmm.
and processed foods. You shouldn't give too much of spice or salt, or oil over there. You can prefer something steamed, or just raw again.
Mm-hmm.
Something light, very
Okay.
light food, which is light on your stomach.
Okay. Uh, is there any specific food that needs to be avoided for ADHD kids and
Uh,
children with, because there's a lot of confusion on that. Remember when we used to do, as we all know, like we have specialized in Ramchandra, and then there's always this interconnection where we send special kids to various other departments. So is
yes.
there any connection with regard to this?
See, with such kids, your sweet basically aggravates their symptom. That's why
Hmm.
we cut down on a lot of, we say no to chocolates for those kids, but end of the day, they're also kids.
Yeah.
So basically, change the way we give them chocolates. For such kids, homemade chocolate, which is more of cocoa,
Uh-huh.
that
Okay.
helps. Cocoa powder helps, but not the milk chocolate which has sugar. The sugar component increases their symptoms. See, if you've noticed, parents with ADHD, they would have noticed when these kids have chocolates that particular day, they become hyper.
Hmm.
The kids
True.
activity is on a higher side. So sugar desserts are something that you need to have a check on with these kids.
Divya, again, there is a confusion in terms of milk and milk products. They say that they should avoid. Is that true again?
See,
Because I think already kids do require calcium for their bone
these
development and all that.
these kid also, for them weight is also very important. A lot of kids, they are underweight, ADHD kids, and they're
Mhm.
like too hyper. See, milk generally, again, it is not subjective to all kids. It is again subjective to their symptoms. And there are few kids who don't respond, who don't become hyper to chocolates also. So certain foods you need to go with a trial and error method with ADHD kids. So if one particular food doesn't suit your child, please avoid, and do not come to a conclusion on day one. So you can give it
Mhm.
twice, thrice, and check whether they're having that particular symptom on, as it is repetitive. Then make a decision.
Okay. Okay. There's somebody who's asking, can you suggest a simple detox drink?
Okay, one simple thing that can cleanse your system is celery is basically a natural laxative. Laxative
Mm-hmm.
basically cleanse your system. That's what detox is all about. So cucumber, celery, and you can even add pineapple to it for the taste, because celery doesn't taste good because it is
Mm-hmm.
green leaves. So you can mix all of this. Basically, a combination again. You can even add carrots to it so that it will taste better. Instead of pineapple, you can add carrot. So make it as a juice. Do not add sugar, filter, and just drink. This acts as a good cleanser.
Again, how many days, Divya? Is that like 15 days once or daily or weekly once? How
See,
often?
make sure that you have some kind of a liquid on a daily basis which can cleanse your system, and do not name it as a detox drink. Your plain water is
Uh-huh.
still a detox. Your lime water is a detox. So your cucumber
Okay.
water is detox. Cinnamon water is a detox. So some kind of a liquid which will cleanse your system in the morning, and that can't
Mm-hmm.
you can't brand it as detox drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
So we
okay, there's a question. Last, another 2 minutes, we'll just. Okay. What about people with autoimmune disease like MS? Is it advisable to take immunity boosting foods?
see, when you say with such specific conditions, yes, immunity boosting foods plays a very very important role. These kind of people say a normal adult requirement is 1 or 2 cups of vegetables or fruits a day. Then for such special conditions, your requirements are double. So increase your
Mm-hmm.
vitamin and mineral consumption to 2. So
Double.
you meet your vitamin mineral requirements. So that itself will boost your
Okay.
immunity.
Okay, I think it has been rightly said, like food acts as a medicine, and food here acts as a brain medicine too, because mental health and food choices, that's what we started with, because the appropriate food choices is very important. And I think we need to introduce the appropriate food choices to kids also, because the kind of taste which they develop is quite early, and nowadays kids just like sugary foods and all that. But I think you said about, you talked about the traditional foods and things like that, which has been forgotten. And there's a lot of these green leafy vegetables which I frequently take is this modakattan kirai, which
Yes.
is absolutely is helping, especially for people who sit for long hours. And then so
True.
these kind of substitute. And there are days where I don't take this plain dosas at all. Like I don't remember when did I ever take that white dosa, because we used to generally fortify with lot of things, and then it does helps. And it also makes the kids to eat the dosa, because every time we make a new kind of a dosa, one day green dosa, one day red dosa, and different kind. And that's why I think we need to include all the rainbow colors which they have mentioned. And we need to take food as a medicine, so that will definitely have a greater impact on your mood. Thank you so much, Divya, for taking your time off. And I really want to thank you today, because I know with what this thing you have come in. And I wish you again a great success, because I know you've been working with a lot of celebrities, and you've been giving excellent results with them. And I know Divya right from my college days, and she's really a hardworking person, and then she's really come up to a greater level. Thank you so much for giving your time and then doing this for Wecope, and I'll definitely call you for future sessions too. Thank you,
Thank you.
Divya.
Thanks for inviting for your series of talks. Definitely, it was very nice to be part of your series.
Thank you.
Definitely,
Thank you.
definitely work together.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Happy Navratri again.
You too. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.